Can't do anything about it. Hopelessness. Can't trust anybody with your money. Don't take what? Risks. Don't take risks. Right. You don't take risks. What happens when you don't take risks? Nothing grows. Nothing happens. Money's hard to get. Money's hard to keep. Money doesn't stay. Any of these are a possibility, right? So these kind of happen for Grandpa. And then he has your dad. Everybody say, hi, Dad.
Hi, Dad.
He has your dad. And here's the thing. As entanglement patterns go through the generations, they don't express in the exact same way. They're around the same topic, but they don't express in the exact same way. They each have their own flavors. So Grandpa loses the family money during the Depression. It trickles down. Dad gets entangled. And Dad has a hard time growing his business, right? I'm sorry, he doesn't. He went bankrupt. Let me just follow the slides. He went bankrupt. So he loses all of his money in a different way, through bankruptcy, right? Maybe racked up too much debt, boom, bankrupt. He has a son or daughter. And this is you. Say, hi, me. Hi. And, oh, you smell good, Fahrenheit. That's a good cologne. So, so this is you, and you smell really good, trust me. And you get in.
I taught him.
You taught. Dad wants credit. Dad taught him well. So here comes you, and you smell really good, and we can, all the way down, smell gooders. But here's the thing: you smell great, you're entangled with money. Okay, it's coming out left and right in all these different ways. You can't hold on to money. And here's the problem. Let me see how I wrote it on there. Okay, for the way it shows up for you, your business isn't growing. You're trying, you're struggling, you're putting in the time, you're working 10-hour days, 7 days a week, or extra elbow grease, or you're going and taking classes, and you're trying to learn the new information and apply it, and no matter what, you can't get that thing growing as big as you want it to grow. What is going on? And the problem is that you begin to think you. You begin to blame yourself and personalize because you're in your own life experience. All you know is you. You're not thinking in the context of family or entanglements. You're just noticing, I can't get this business to grow. What is wrong with me? Maybe I'm not smart enough. Maybe I don't have what it takes. Maybe there's something wrong with me. Maybe something is missing. Whatever it is, we make up these, we don't make up these stories. That's a way to say it. We try to figure out what's wrong. And in the figuring out, we accidentally blame ourselves for something that is a lie. It's not true. Because you're not looking at it in the larger context. It's an entanglement pattern. It's not you. But nonetheless, you're at its effect. It has an effect on your life. So here you are trying to build your business and it's not growing, and then you notice that you have a money ceiling. Please say and do that with me. Money ceiling. Thank you. You got a money ceiling. What's a money ceiling? A money ceiling is when you seem to make a certain amount of money per month or per year, and you can't really get past it. Maybe you start to get past it a little bit, and then you get that speeding ticket. And then you start to get past it a little bit, and then that new doctor's bill. And then you start to get past it a little bit, you got to buy a new car because your car breaks down. Something always comes up to absorb the money. So if you're familiar, if you know somebody who has gone through this pattern, not you, but if you know somebody who has gone through this pattern, say yes? Yes. So this is common, okay? These money ceilings are common. And some people can actually get past them for like a year, sometimes even 2, and they're like, oh, I've broken through. And then, boom, like the real estate market crash, or whatever. Something happens and you go back down to that place. Now these money ceilings are caused by our family entanglements. They're caused by the amounts of money that were made by previous generations. And it doesn't mean that if you have like 5 millionaires in your family that you're just set, because all it takes is one person to have struggled a lot. All it takes is one person to have struggled a lot to create sort of a disturbance in the family subconscious, and your subconscious is attracted to that and wants to help resolve it. I'll explain that a little bit more later. So this is you. You've got struggle growing your business, you've got a money ceiling, and you start blaming yourself. What's wrong with me? I don't understand. Maybe I'm not smart enough. You beat yourself up. Then comes the lower self-esteem and lower confidence, and then of course, you're not attracting customers, and it's a downward spiral, right? Make sense? Yes or yes? Yeah. All right. So, for my action takers, I hope tomorrow we will have beads. My intention was to have beads, but hold on to these. Hold on to these. And I'll tell you what they're for later. All right, round of thunderous applause for our action takers. Beautiful. Give your neighbor a high five and say, so glad you are. So for those that are new to the tribe, for those of you that are new to the tribe, the so glad you are comes from these aliens. It comes from aliens. Okay, it's from a book. It's from a novel. They're called the Harmoniums, and they live on the planet Mercury. And they are the happiest creatures in the entire cosmos. And here's the reason. They can only say two things to each other. They've only got two things in their entire vocabulary. One is, here I am. And that's just like, hi, here I am, right? Here I am. And the only response to here I am is, so glad you are. And not so glad you look so good today, not so glad you lost 5 pounds, not so glad your hair turned out, or not so glad you don't have that pimple, but so glad you are the way you are right now in this moment. Yeah. So now that you know the meaning that's imbued and encapsulated in the beauty of so glad you are, now give your neighbors a high five and say, so glad you are. I love it. We have some very happy aliens in the room. All right, so I'll share with you a story of Jeff Slater, just so you have some context of the way that this can help people in different ways, because it helps. People come to me because my specialty is working with money and business success. Like, most people come to me because they want to work on that. But once they work on that, then they want to delve into like relationships and love life and like vibrant health. So Jeff came to me, and when he had come to me, he had lost everything, bankrupt. Okay, lost it all. Now, some of you may know him. He's a master trainer with World's Hidden Masters. And he came to me and he said, look, I'm going to start this new business. I've already lost it all. At the time, he was sitting in his apartment. Everything had been repossessed. He was sitting on the floor with no furniture, okay? Car had been repossessed, the whole 9 yards. And he said, I'm starting a new business. I don't want to lose it all again. It's too heartbreaking. I want to figure this out. I want to do my work. And so I looked at his family tree. Okay, I had him answer the questions, the family entanglement questions, which I think y'all got on email. But don't worry, because you're gonna get some of that today as well. He answered the questions, and I looked in his family tree. I started tracing, like, where are the entanglements? And here's what I found. On his father's side, his father's mother came from a family of, I think, 13 children in Hawaii, rural Hawaii. They were poor. They grew up with like absolute scarcity, and his grandmother never in her entire life ever was able to break free from that. And that, okay, was like the way that these entanglements work. When there's struggle, when there's trauma, when there's tragedy somewhere in the family tree, it almost like releases like a flashing yellow light, like a little warning light that goes on. Distress signal. And the people that are born afterwards, their subconscious is attracted to that distress signal, and it wants to balance out the problem. It wants to help resolve it or fix it. And that's how we get entangled. So he was entangled with his grandmother. And as we started to do his work, and it was more than just his grandmother, we had to do a few sessions to kind of tease that out. And as we did his work, it was the previous year that we did his work, and in this last year, he made $3 million in his company in a year and kept it all. No problems. Okay, nothing came up. So wherever he is, he's in Australia right now. Let's blow him a kiss way down under. Wait, how do you blow a kiss way down under? Let's try it. All right. So here's the stickler. Here's the thing that kind of sucks, if I can just use that word. You can still inherit patterns even if you don't know that relative or never heard of their story consciously. You can still get entangled, even if you never heard of that relative. Like, maybe no one even told you had a crazy old Uncle Joe who was incarcerated for like 30 years and had robbed a bank and, you know what I mean, raped and pillaged. Like, you didn't even know about him because he was like, no one wants to talk about that guy. And you can still be entangled with him and his problems. Kind of sucks. Well, why is that?